Are AI content detectors reliable? Well, no, not entirely to say the least. So here's what I do instead to spot AI content and maintain academic integrity in my classroom. We already made a video about this topic a while ago, but despite the rapid advancements in the field, AI detectors remain unreliable. Therefore, instead of relying on them, I take a different approach to spot any foul plays. So, without further ado, I'll share the signs I look for when examining students' work for AI-generated content. And on top of that, I'll also tell you the guidelines I give my students for using AI tools properly in their schoolwork. Let's roll! AI-generated essays have flawless grammar and punctuation. If a student's essay suddenly has no grammatical errors or typos when their previous work was filled with them, it might be a sign of AI involvement. It's important to remember that even the best students make occasional errors. AI tools provide very consistent and correct outputs, which is bizarre when compared to a student's typical writing, which normally includes some mistakes here and there. If a student's writing suddenly includes advanced or complex vocabulary far from their usual level, it's worth taking a closer look. AI-generated content might contain words that are technically correct but feel out of character for the student's typical style. If the student generally uses simpler language in class discussions or other assignments, this sign is a clear indicator of AI usage. Human writing tends to have a natural flow with changes in tone and style. If a text feels unusually blunt and lacks this unique voice of a person, it could be AI written. And how do you say if the text is blunt? Well, real-life writing involves emotion, mood shifts, and individual quirks that make it unique. AI-generated texts, in contrast, tends to have a neutral tone that doesn't waver, which may feel flat and impersonal. One major giveaway of AI content is the absence of personal opinions, anecdotes, stories, or genuine reflections. AI tools excel at delivering facts but often lack that personal touch. Students typically bring their own experiences and viewpoints into their writing, especially when they're passionate about a topic. If a piece of text reads like a summary or report rather than a perspective with no clear voice or stance, then you should investigate it further. Because of how they are designed, AI models sometimes repeat words, phrases, or even entire ideas that have already been mentioned previously in the text. This repetition is a red flag. While humans naturally vary their language to keep the reader engaged, AI can get stuck on particular words or phrases because of its attempt to match patterns it has learned. If you notice this repetition, it's worth to investigate it further. AI-generated essays can sometimes have sections of good writing mixed with poorly written parts. This unevenness might mean that the essay was created in separate chunks and then pieced together. Another possibility is that the student tried to edit the AI-generated text or combine it with their own writing, resulting in sudden changes in quality or lack of smoothness in the writing. As a teacher, if I notice any of these signs, here's what I do. Instead of direct confrontation, which might make students defensive or damage our report, I do this. I ask them thoughtful questions about their essay's content, writing process, and even the sources used. This way, I assess their ability to explain their ideas and justify their choices. But I get it. These signs are often hard to notice. So, to avoid the hassle of constantly checking students' assignments for AI content, I prefer to take another approach. Before worrying about AI content, let's talk about what you can do to set clear expectations about AI usage with your students. Address the elephant in the room and have an open conversation about AI tools with your students. Understanding your students' perspectives helps build trust and ensures everyone is on the same page. This discussion also provides an opportunity to clarify any misconceptions about AI, guiding students on how to use these tools to complement their learning rather than replace their efforts. This brings us to the second tip. Explain to your students if and how you will allow them to use generative AI in their assignments. Clearly state these guidelines in your syllabus. Explain that not complying with these rules constitutes academic misconduct. Being upfront with your expectations reduces confusion and sets a clear standard for students, engaging them to use AI as a learning tool rather than a shortcut. To avoid confusion, direct your students to resources and policies on academic integrity, specifically addressing appropriate and inappropriate uses of AI. This is closely aligned with the next tip. What AI tools, if any, are your students allowed to use? Provide the students with a list of the AI tools they can use. How should they take advantage of them? Don't be afraid to guide them and even show them how to use these tools effectively and ethically. This also gives students clear boundaries on what's permitted. Highlighting specific tools helps avoid gray areas and gives students clarity on how they can integrate AI into their studies in a way that supports their learning. But remember to double-check each tool's terms and conditions to avoid recommending apps unsuitable for your student's age. AI detectors are not foolproof, so you shouldn't depend on them. They might improve in time, but they aren't perfect now. On the other hand, my approach will help you better identify AI-generated content and foster an honest and productive learning environment without discouraging the responsible use of AI tools. Now, if you further want to guide your students on using AI tools like ChatGPT ethically, then don't miss the video shown on your screen. Till the next time, see you!